Okay, assalamu alaikum everybody. Can you all hear me? If you just mention yes in the chat box if you can hear me, please. Yes, Jazakallah, Lisa. Nice to see you again. Jazakallah Nabiha. Yes, I think everybody can hear us. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, so today, okay, so the other question I just wanted to ask is, can you all see my slides?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay, let me just convert it to a slideshow. Okay, so today's session, so last week, if you all remember, we covered with me, we covered a whole session on digital technology. And this week's workshop is going to be all about creativity. And you're very lucky today that you've got two teachers who are going to teach you today, inshallah. So there's myself, who some of you might have already met last week. Obviously, not all of you were here last week, but those of you that were met me last week. But we also have Sister Andali Braza as well joining us today. And inshallah, together we will both run this workshop on creativity for you. So Sister Andali, do you want to say hi, Islam, and introduce yourself?
Yeah, assalamu alaikum everyone. My name's Andalib. It might be a little bit hard to pronounce sometimes, but so it's with an Ain, Andalib. And I'll be assisting your teacher, Sister Nadia, as well. It looks like a great, fun-packed, creative evening today. So inshallah, I'll be able to help with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Andalib. Okay, so moving on to the first slide then. Obviously, we always start everything with a dua, so we're all going to say out loud, inshallah, Bismillah, okay? So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. So again, let's go through some of the ground rules, okay? So some of you, again, would have seen these ground rules last week. So it's things like being on time. Obviously, it's always good to be on time with everything we do in life. It's good to be punctual. Because we're on this online Zoom platform and we're going to all have different opinions and views on some of the things we talk about, it's really, really important that we're polite and we respect each other's opinions, okay? And it's important that we listen to one another, because we might be surprised that we'll learn new ideas from one another. So last week in the digital workshop, I learned so much from each and every one of you, as well as you learning, inshallah, something from me about digital technology. And it's really, really good to be open to new ideas so that we can learn about these new ideas together and join in the discussions we have, and to join in the activities. Now, because this session is being recorded, it's really important, unless we instruct you to, that you keep your videos turned off. Remember, we talked all about online safety last week, didn't we? So for those of you who were there last week, does somebody want to give a quick overview of what some of the things that were important about online safety? You can either write in the chat box, or you can just unmute your mic, inshallah, and speak. So there was... Yeah, go on.
We name some apps and stuff, like what we know the most, and we like try.
So you've
they're not actually your friend online.
Yeah. Yep, so it could be that you might think everybody's your friend online, and you might be willing to post images of yourself or videos of yourself, but you don't know everybody online, and it could be that somebody might take advantage of those recordings and photos and videos that you have. Nabia has written in the chat box that to have a safe password. Yeah, it's really important to have a safe password. So in the context of keeping your videos turned off, because this is being recorded, this session, and we're going to put it on the MUS YouTube page, it's open for the public to see. So it's really important, if you don't have permission from your parents, that you keep yourselves private and not to post your videos on social media, unless it's a safe platform and we allow you to. Nabia has also mentioned, yeah, don't post pictures on social media. That's very, very good. So again, in going back to being polite and respecting each other's opinions, if you do have any questions, we've got the raise your hand function. Okay, so if you've got any questions to ask, or you want to join in discussion, if you raise your hand, and then we'll encourage you to unmute your mic, and inshallah you can join in your discussions or ask your questions. But whilst you're not speaking and whilst the teachers are speaking, I'd encourage you to keep your mics muted so that you don't distract anybody. And if you've got any questions and you don't necessarily want to unmute your mic and speak out loud, then you're more than welcome to post your questions, your discussion points into the chat box, and inshallah me or Andalib will mention some of the things that you're discussing to the rest of the group. And then finally, to complete your homework, again, like last week, there isn't any specific homework. It's meant to be a fun summer workshop, so we've not got any specific homeworks, but we have left you with various things or various activities that you might want to get on with in your own time. That, you know, if you're interested in doing some of these things, we've left you with a few activities, inshallah, that you might be able to do. Misam has mentioned that a username that includes personal information that doesn't shouldn't include it. Yeah, so that's true. We won't unfortunately play Kahoot today. Husnia, we didn't have a chance to set up a Kahoot quiz, but we do have some interesting activities for you. So inshallah, you all got the email, and if you haven't already done so, if you can ask a family member to get you a sheet of A4 paper or a couple of sheets of A4 paper and a scissors. We will be doing some creative activities today, inshallah, using the A4 sheet of paper and the scissors, and the Leap has just demonstrated that beautifully by holding up a pair of scissors and an A4 sheet of paper, inshallah. So hopefully we'll do some fun activities with that. So like I said, if you haven't already got a sheet of paper and a scissors, get a family member to get it for you, and inshallah you'll be able to join in with the fun activities, hopefully.
Can I just add to at the end, where it says complete your homework, and because this is a summer activity, what that would mean in this scenario is just to reflect on what you've learnt. So anything that you've learnt on this session or any other sessions is just to go over it and try to understand what you've learnt and see whether you can apply it in your lives later on. So that's what we'd inshallah encourage you to do by way of homework as well.
Definitely, I agree with that completely. Okay, so moving on to the next slide then. These is some of the things we're going to talk about today. Okay, so we're going to start off, obviously we've already started off with our dua, we've done the ground rules. We're going to share a little bit of your work from following up from the digital technologies workshop last week. We're going to have a small video to play on Ghadir Kum, because it was Eid Ghadir last week and it's recently been Eid Mubahala, so we're going to play a little short video clip on Eid Mubahala. I was going to introduce a Kahoot quiz after these two videos, but unfortunately I didn't have time to create one, so I really apologize for that. But inshallah, if we ever had a chance to do this again, then we might be able to do quizzes in the future. Then we're going to talk about what creativity is and what it means for everybody. And then the two bits of creative activities we're going to discuss and inshallah partake in today is going to be origami. So some of you might have already heard about what origami is. Does anybody know what origami is?
It's like you make like a paper figure.
Yep, so you make things out of paper, don't you, Lisa? Thank you very much for that. And then the second creative thing we're going to look at is poetry, inshallah. And then finally, we're going to have a slide on feedback and questions, and we're going to end with the dua. Okay, so some of you already took part in some creativity using digital technology last week. Okay, so those of you that stayed on in the workshop, I showed you how to actually create this poster on Eid Gadir using a Microsoft PowerPoint software on your computers. And those of you that weren't able to join or were not able to stay till the end, that workshop has been posted on the MUS YouTube page now, so you can catch up on that and you can maybe have a go at creating your own posters. And alhamdulillah, following that, I had some really nice feedback from some of you, and some of you actually went away and you created your own posters using PowerPoint, and you share those with me. So some of you have already taken part in creativity using digital technology. So I want to share some of those creative works with the rest of you, okay? So this beautiful poster was created by Sirat Fatima, and she emailed it to me, and I think she's beautifully taken note of some of the different formatting and editing I did using the PowerPoint software to create some of those features, using the different fonts, using the softening of the pictures features, and being able to take away a background from images. So I really, really like that. And she's also used a gradient in the background, and she's chosen some beautiful, beautiful colors. What do you think of this poster, Annalie?
Yeah, I was just going to say that the color scheme is, mashallah, really very different to yours, but it's unique, and it really goes with the theme of what the sisters used. So well done. Yeah, I'd be very proud of that. If I saw that, that would be something I thought a professional has done.
MashaAllah, that's really, really good. So well done, Sirat Fatima. I really, really enjoyed receiving your pieces of work. And then this next poster was done by Nabiha Abbas, and I think Nabiha is Sirat's sister, if I'm not mistaken. And she sent two posters in to me. So this first one she did again on Eid Gadir. So another beautiful poster, again using the gradient features, using the image and blending that image into the background, and having some beautiful sort of script there, so we can learn from the poster as well. Again, what do you think of this poster?
What I like about this is they've used different colors to highlight different things. So you know, the Holy Prophet had said, and I understand why she's used red, maybe so that it's striking.
Yeah.
And the yellow underneath that, this is what is said. So yeah, mashallah, that's a good way to use color creatively.
MashaAllah. And Nabiya has been very, very busy. She also, because a couple of days ago it was Eid Mubahala, so she also created this beautiful poster on Eid Mubahala as well for everybody. So can use this poster to wish everybody Eid Mubahala Mubarak as well, and Eid Mubahala Mubarak to all of you, and also to Andalib as well. But again, another beautiful poster. And again, you know, she's written, she's put an ayat from the Quran as well. And I really love the choice of colors in this poster.
I also made a poster about Eid al-Mubahira.
Did you? Okay, well, if you can share it in the chat, and we can maybe show it later on at the end if we have time, or you can email it yourself to the email that we're going to give at the end of this workshop, and inshallah, you know, the teachers will receive that as well. But that's really, really good, Eliza. Thank you for sharing that. But yeah, if you have a chance, post it in the chat, and maybe we'll be able to show it as well.
Yeah, mashallah, excellent effort.
Miss, I can send you my poster of Eid al-Mubahira at the Gmail.
Okay, inshallah, you can do that. Thank you very much, Eliza. Okay, yeah, so go on, Andalib, you were saying?
I was going to say, mashallah, it's simplicity that stands out here. The most important bit was the ayat of the Quran, and just the fact that the Ahlul Bayt are there. So sometimes you don't need loads of things cluttering your poster. So what I like about this is the simplicity of it, mashallah.
Yeah, I agree. It's very, very beautiful. So thank you, Sirat.
Miss, my name is Sirat, not Eliza.
Oh, sorry. Was it you that was talking? I thought it was Eliza that was talking.
Yes.
So I showed your poster at the start, didn't I? Was that your poster? Am I right, Sirat? Did you say that you've also created one for Eid Mubarak as well?
Yes, I also created for Eid
Okay, so yes, you
al-Mubahira.
can send that to me on the Gmail account, and inshallah we'll have that as well. Thank you. But your other post on Eid Mobile was beautiful, Sirat.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, Sirat Fatima and Nabiha Abbas. Really happy that I received your posters, and it was nice to see that you put into practice some of the things that you learnt last week, and inshallah the rest of you can catch up from those videos, like I said, on the MUS YouTube page, and create your own posters in the future, inshallah. So because it's been Eid al-Kadir and it's been Eid al-Mubala, and last week we didn't have a chance to go to watch the Eid al-Kadir video that I had for you. I'm going to play those two videos for you now, inshallah. So I'll take my headphones out because you couldn't hear last week when I had my headphones in. So I'll take them out, and inshallah I'll start with the video on the event at Ghadir Qum, and then we'll go on to the event of Eid Mobile, inshallah. And even though we didn't have any sort of Kahoot quiz planned, we might ask you a few questions about the videos, so make sure you listen and concentrate in the videos. So I'll play the first video. This one is on Ghadir Qum, the last sermon, and both of these videos are from our YouTube page called Islamic Lessons Made Easy. It's a very nice sort of YouTube page that has lots of different video clips on different concepts in Islam, and they make it in a way that it's easy to understand, inshallah. So I'll play this first video for you. Sorry, started.
In the month of Dhul Qa'dah, the Prophet, peace be upon him, announced he was going to Mecca to perform a final pilgrimage, the Hajj. This is known in Islamic history as the farewell Hajj. As the Prophet got ready to leave Medina for Mecca, thousands of Muslims from all over Arabia joined him, many waiting outside Medina to join him halfway. This was also going to be an opportunity for the Prophet, peace be upon him, to demonstrate the practices of Hajj and to do away with any undesirable
I cannot hear you because your mic is muted.
Indeed, Allah does not guide the coverers of the truth. According to some narrators, around 120,000 Muslims.
I'm going to rewind that slightly because I think I muted my mic.
The pond of Khum, the angel Jibreel revealed the following verse. O Messenger, communicate that which has been sent down to you from your Lord. And if you do not, you will not have conveyed his message. And Allah shall protect you from the people. Indeed, Allah does not guide the coverers of the truth. According to some narrators, around 120,000 Muslims gathered at Ghadir Qum, and it was around noontime and extremely hot. The Prophet then gave a sermon in which he praised and glorified Allah.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ad'ukum jami'an ila taqwa Allah.
To ensure they would never be left alone and to give them hope to continue on the path of Islam, the Prophet, peace be upon him, told the people,
ألا أدلكم على ما إن تمسكتم به لن تضلوا بعدي أبدا أيها الناس إني تارك فيكم وديعتين قيمتين وثقيلتين إحداهما القرآن والأخرى أهل البيت.
Then the Prophet brought Imam Ali alayhi salam in front of him and then raised the arm of Imam Ali high and declared,
الله مولاي وأنا مولى المؤمنين ألا من كنت مولاه فهذا علي مولاه اللهم وال من والاه وعاد من عاداه.
When the sermon of the Prophet came to an end, the angel Jibreel revealed the following verse. Today I have perfected your religion for you, and I have completed my blessing upon you, and I have approved Islam as your religion. People then lined up to congratulate Imam Ali alayhi salam for his appointment as the successor of the Prophet, peace be upon him. The day of Ghadir is one of the most important events in the Islamic history, and to this day, the Shia of Imam Ali alayhi salam throughout the world joyfully celebrate this event on the 18th of Dhul Hijjah as Eid al-Ghadir.
اللهم أحب من أحب عليا وعاد من عداه وانصر من نصره واخذل من خذله.
Okay, so stop that now. Okay, so, oops, moving. I'm not going to play this video yet. Based on that video, I've got a couple of questions for you, and I'm sure Andalib has a few questions for you as well. So I'll start off with a question. Somebody's put an answer already, and that was going to be my question. So I don't know whether they can read my mind. Basis said, okay, so I'll ask the question anyway. So according to some narrators, how many Muslims gathered at Ghadir home? So
maybe if you could raise your hand and then answer, that would be better.
Yeah,
please.
that's actually a good idea. So Farzan has raised his hands. Does Farzan want to unmute his mic and answer?
It was like more than 70,000.
More than 70,000. So what did the video say? So Nabi has put an answer down, and somebody called Massi's message privately as well with the correct answer. But Misam has raised his hand. Okay, go on, Misam.
Hassan Suleiman, you've raised your hand.
Over 70,000.
Over 70,000, yeah. There was an over 70,000, but there was a specific number that they said according to some. It was over 70,000, but what was the number they gave in the video clip?
So a little, yeah. So if we cannot answer in the chat box, if you just raise your hand, so there's a little function at the bottom of your screen where it says raise hand, so that we can listen to your voice as well. But yes, I think is it Misam who has put 120,000?
Yes, and so has Fazan, and so has, I think, Nabia and Iman. So quite a few of you have put the correct answer, which was 120,000, according to some narrations. So that was correct. So, Andalib, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I'm not sure whether it was within the clip, but I want to test you here to see whether you know this or not. So the mimbar, what was the because we're doing creativity, I want to ask, what was the mimbar made from? Hassan Suleiman, you put your hand up again.
It was from the saddles of the horses.
Yeah, mashallah, the saddles of the horses. Now, can you see we've got, you know, we're doing creativity, and although we would consider a mimbar to be somewhere we'd go on stairs and sit on top, but even Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, was creative in a desert where there was no mimbar. So they asked everyone to put their saddles and the material so that they could be raised up high so everyone could see them. So yeah, that was my question, mashallah.
Very, very good relating it to the topic today. Completely beautiful example of how you can think outside the box in any situation and be creative in any situation, inshallah. Okay, so I'll ask one more question, and then maybe Sister Andalib can ask one more question, and then we'll move on to the next video, inshallah. Okay, so there was a statement that the Prophet said in Ghadir Khum, and it was Man kuntu Mola Fahazan Aliyun Mola. What does that statement mean in English? Okay, so Hassan Suleiman, you've raised your hand, so you can unmute your mic and answer.
We've got many children raising their hands, but yeah, Hassan Suleiman, you're first on the mark there.
Quick fingers.
It was by accident.
Oh, it was by accident. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Nabia Abbas.
Whoever is leader, I am. Ali is his leader.
Yeah, so it was whoever I am his master or leader, Imam Ali al-Islam is his master or leader. Well done. So the final question from Anjali.
Yeah. Okay. So shall I make it difficult or easy?
Yeah. Anjali's very good at asking the challenging questions. So yeah, make it challenging if you can. You'll challenge me as
Okay.
well.
Okay. So what chapter and verse, if you were paying attention, did it state that Islam has now been completed? Which chapter and verse? Masi, you put your hand up first. Chapter 5, verse 3, mashallah. Yes, that's correct.
MashaAllah, very good. So so that's really, really good. So a lot of you were obviously paying attention, and obviously probably from last week you've probably watched a lot of clips and learned a lot by reading and things about Eid al-Gadir as well. So because Eid al-Mubarak was more recent, a few days ago, we'll also play this video now on Eid al-Mubarak. Okay, so I'll start the video now.
After Islam had firmly established itself in Medina, the Prophet would send letters to invite different nations to join Islam. A similar invitation letter was sent to the head priests and Christians of Najran, which is a city near the border of Yemen. The priests and scholars of Najran decided to go to Medina to see the Prophet for themselves when they received the invitation. Thereafter, they began meeting with the Prophet and asking questions and having debates with him. In some narrations, it states that one of the debates was about Prophet Isa, Jesus alayhi salam. The priests argued that it was impossible for anyone to be born without a father, and Jesus had no human father, therefore his father must have been God. In response, Allah revealed to the Prophet the following verse. In other words, if not having a human father makes a person the son of God, then Prophet Adam did not have a father and a mother. So Prophet Adam had an even greater right to be the son of God than Prophet Jesus. They had no reply to this. They simply argued stubbornly and refused to submit to the logical arguments and proofs that the Prophet showed them. Then the following verse was revealed. If anybody disputed you about Jesus, after that the knowledge has come to you, say, come and let us call upon our children and your children, our women and your women, also ourselves and yourselves. Then we all pray and ask Allah to take His mercy away from the liars. This was an invitation for a mubahala. This means that each side should pray to God to send His punishment down on whoever is the liar from them. Both parties agreed that the next day they would meet outside the city of Medina for the mubahala. According to some narrations, on the day of mubahala, the Prophet gathered Imam Ali, Sayyidah Fatima, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein under a cloak, and then the angel Gabriel descended with the verse of purification. After this, the Prophet came out with Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein and Sayyidah Fatima ready for the mubahala. When the other party saw the Prophet and his family, they were spellbound. Their hearts trembled and they began to shake on seeing the power radiating from the Prophet and his family. The priests realized that the mubahala is a question of life and death for both sides. If the Prophet had the slightest fear or doubt in the truth of the message of Islam, he would not have put his family in any danger. In some narrations, it says that one of the priests said to his people, surely I see the faces that if they pray to Allah to remove a mountain from its place, God would surely remove it for them. If you engage in mubahala with them, I warn you that all of you will be destroyed, and not a single Christian will remain on this earth until the day of judgment. The Prophet knew for sure his dua will be accepted. If the Prophet had any doubt about his family or if any of them were sinful in any way, the dua would have been compromised and he would not bring them. But the Prophet did bring them. This shows a sign of them being infallible and their dua being accepted for sure. The priests realized that the truth is with the Prophet and his family and decided not to engage in the mubahala. Instead, they asked the Prophet to sign a treaty with them. The 24th of the month of Dhul Hijjah marks the anniversary of the auspicious occasion known as Eid al-Mubahala. So we know that in the verse of the Holy Quran, it says, "Bring our children." This is in reference to Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein. Our women is in reference to Sayyidah Fatima because she represents the women from the members of his house. Question: why does it say women and not woman? As we know, it was only Sayyidah Fatima. This shows in Arabic you can use a plural for one person in certain areas. This could be due to the respect and status of that person that Allah is showing. But why did he bring with him Imam Ali, who is neither from the children nor from the women? Imam Ali in the verse is regarded as in the word ourselves. Bringing Imam Ali with him indicates that the Messenger of God considered Imam Ali an extension of his personality. By considering him so, he elevated him above all of the Muslims. The Messenger said on many occasions, "Ali is from me and I am from him." The event of Mubahala is an extremely important part of Islamic history because it shows who the Prophet considered his family, the Ahlul Bayt, and how special they were to him and to Allah. Also, Imam Ali alayhi salam earned the title of being the nafs, i.e. self or the soul of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Okay, so that was about the event on Mubahala. So, Andalib, do you want to start off with the questions this time?
Yep. So, what was our Prophet's practice? What did they used to do to invite people to Islam? And that was in the clip.
So again, if you raise your hands, and then if you call out your name, you can unmute your mic and answer the question, inshallah. Okay, so is it Masi?
Masi, yeah.
Okay, so Nabiya is asking you to repeat the question, please.
Yeah, so our Prophet used to do something to invite people to Islam. What did they do in particular?
So Masi's raised her hand, so go and unmute your mic and then you can try and answer, inshallah.
Go ahead, Masi. If you're having trouble, shall we go to the next one?
Yeah. So for example, so yeah.
So he sent letters to different parts of the world, inviting them to Islam.
MashaAllah, yes. So their practice was to write letters. So I'm just trying to, I picked up on that in particular just because of the way creativity and our how to invite people to Islam. This is another way, is writing letters in a form where it's an invitation or something of that sort. Yeah.
Things. Yeah, and just to point out that Masi did answer, but he answered in the chat. He wrote sent invitations. So yeah, well done. Okay, so following on from that question, then, so the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sent an invitation in particular to a city, to a priest of a city. I want you to give me two parts of the answer. I want you to tell me what the name of the city was. And then also tell me the border of which country was that city near. Okay, so what was the name of the city and the border of which country was the city near? So Nabiha, you raised your hand, so go ahead.
It was sent to Najran.
Yep, and what was the border country of Najran?
Sorry, I don't remember.
You don't remember that. Okay, so Iman has messaged in the chat box. Iman, do you want to raise your hand and Say it out loud. You've got the right answer in the chat box. Okay, so she doesn't. Okay, so I'm just going to read out Iman's answer because she has written the correct answer in the chat box. She also mentioned Najran as the city, as did Dambiya, so that was correct. And it was the border of Yemen, which was the correct answer. So well done, everybody.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
Shall I ask another?
Yeah, so we'll have, should we have another, 2 more questions, one from you and one from me, inshallah, and then we'll...
Of course. So, so one of the debates was, it was in Prophet Isa alayhi salam was the son of God because he was born without a father, and it's impossible to be born without a father. Now, what response did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give in the Quran to that? And I'll give you 2 points, one for the answer, and the second one, if you can outline the chapter and verse.
Good. Okay, so we've got quite a few hands have gone up. So again, Nabiha, Hassan, Suleiman, and Masi. Okay, so do you want to choose one of those 3?
So which one did you see pop up first?
I didn't. I just saw all 3 hands there.
Okay. Shall we give Hassan Suleiman a
Yes.
chance because you've not answered?
They said in the verse it says, if you say Jesus is the son of God, then Prophet Adam should have more higher status because he had no mother or father.
Yeah, that's part of the answer. Obviously, it's paraphrased. I can understand. Do you know the chapter and verse?
Can't remember. Well, Nabiya has mentioned the surah and the ayat. So Nabiya, do you want to unmute your mic and mention the surah and ayat that you mentioned, because you have got it correct in the chat box.
No. Okay.
Okay, well, she's mentioned it, and a few of them have mentioned it in the chat box. So it's surah number 3, ayat number 59.
Yes. So just to get that correct, so chapter 3, verse number 59.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry,
someone's got number 5. That's wrong. It's chapter 3, verse 59. Okay.
Okay, so the final question. In the video clip, there was also a mention of another event that's very, very important event in sort of the Shia history, where there was a verse revealed, and the verse is known as the verse of purification. Can somebody describe that event and remind us of, again, the chapter of the Quran and the ayat number? So again, if you raise, so again, there's 3 hands, the same 3 hands have gone up, and I don't know which one went up first. So on the leave, do you want to choose one?
Well, I'm going to choose a new person. So Sirat, you had your hand up. No? Okay. So
I didn't hear.
Oh, you didn't hear. Do you want to repeat the question?
Yeah, I can repeat the question. So in the video clip on the event of Mabahala, there was also a reference to another historical event that's very, very important for Shia Muslims. And it's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the verse of purification. Can somebody mention what that event is? Maybe describe a little bit about what that event is. And also, I've added a little bit now to the question, and also mention the chapter of the Quran and the ayat that was revealed.
The ayat was إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
MashaAllah.
And it's in Surah Ahzab, ayat number 33.
Yeah, MashaAllah. And what was the event?
Hadith Qisa.
Hadith Qasa. And what was the event of Hadith Qasa? Can you briefly explain it?
When the Prophet was sick, when the Prophet was not, he was feeling tired, so he went to Bibi Fatma's house. So he said to Bibi Fatma to put chadar to put on him. So Bibi Fatma put it. Then Imam Ali came and he said he could smell the fragrance of Prophet Muhammad. So then Imam Ali went to Prophet Muhammad. Then Imam Hassan alayhi salam came and he said he could smell the fragrance of the Prophet. So he also went to join the Prophet. Then Imam Hussein alayhi salam came and he also joined the Prophet. Then Bibi Fatima came and she also joined the Prophet. Then the angel Jibrail came and revealed the ayat Tathir.
MashaAllah.
MashaAllah. So shall we all read it aloud so well? Because Sister Seerat there has just recited the whole hadith of Qisam more or less. So Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
Jail for a Ajmain. And when this, I'll just add on there, when this hadith is recited, yeah, we are told that we are surrounded by angels, that until we don't disperse meaning until we don't go away, these angels will still circumambulate us and pray for those people who have listened to that hadith. So thank you very much, Sister Seerat, for reciting that for us. MashaAllah.
Very much, MashaAllah. Amazing. Okay, so that was the two events that we wanted to talk about today. Okay, so the event of Ghadir Qawm and the event of Mobila. So thank you for your participation in that. So even though we didn't have a quiz, we did have a little bit of a quiz there, and you all did really, really well, mashallah. Okay, so let's move on to let's move on to the next slide now. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about creativity and stuff, and we have had little hints about creativity, and the Leap mentioned the different ways in which the different personalities within some of these historical stories were creative. But what is the definition of creativity? And in the dictionary, there's sort of two parts to the definition. So the first part to the definition is the ability to produce original and unusual ideas. And the second part to the definition is to make something new or imaginative. So I've got a couple of questions for you, okay? So first of all, I want you to, again, raise your hand so that we can get you to answer the question. What methods can you use to be creative? What are the different ways in which you can be creative? And again, Sister and the Leap mentioned some methods already. And then also the next question is, can everyone be creative? Can everyone be a creative person, or is it that only a few people are creative and others are not? So have a think about those questions and raise your hands, and we'd like to hear what you think about those questions.
So is it Masi who has raised a hand? Or?
Yeah, Masi and Frazan. So go on, Masi, go ahead. You can unmute your mic and you can tell us some of the methods maybe that you use to be creative. Maybe you're a creative person. Some of the people, okay, so Masi's mentioning it in the chat box. She's saying everyone can be creative. So Aliza Rida Gazmi saying that everybody can be creative, but everyone is different. Masi is also saying through art, but that's really good. So does somebody, so Sirat and Frazan first, you raise your hand first. So Frazan first, and then following Frazan, Sirat, do you want to unmute your mic and talk a little bit about your answers to these questions, inshallah?
So everyone can be creative. Everybody has their different ways of being creative. Like some people can do like graphic designing and make posters. Then some people can do art, and then some people can make art on computers using like a pen. And then there are different ways of art which people are like good in, like sketching. So everybody can be creative.
Yeah, very good. So everybody can be creative. You mentioned a few methods there. So Sarah, did you want to add to that?
Everyone could be creative as everyone has a choice to be. Like anybody likes to do calligraphy, and somebody wants to have other choices.
Yeah, so different people can be creative in different ways. Yeah, that's fine. Masi, if you want to just type in the chat, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, so different people can be creative in different ways. So some of you have alluded to Fazan, Sirat, Masi have all alluded to different ways in which people can be creative. So the things that have been mentioned so far are graphic design, Art, what was the other things that were mentioned?
So I think that's the only two that were mentioned, really.
Those are the two mentioned. Okay, so artwork and graphic design. I think Fazan mentioned another one, but it slipped my mind. But yeah, everybody can be creative in different ways. Nabia saying that it can be through art pieces or posters, or she's also mentioned another one, calligraphy. Fazan's mentioned sculpting. Yeah, so sculpting is a form of art. You can use clay and pottery and things. Marcy's mentioned making mosaics. So yeah, so these are all different ways of being creative. Glass painting. So you're all mentioning very sort of like sort of technical ways in which you can use your hands to be creative. Okay, so physical ways in which you can be creative. There's also been a mention of ceramics. Okay.
So there's an interesting one. Someone has mentioned the mind.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain a little bit more what you mean by mind? So
I think she has done is it problem solving. So that's a really, really good point. And I just want to touch upon sort of using your mind and problem solving a little bit, because if you go out once you've finished your education, inshallah, and even during your education, and you go out into the world and you sort of like get your first job and things, you'll find that a lot of jobs encourage you to think outside the box. And that's why I've got this little image here. Can you see this image of a box and all these things, these wonderful things that be coming out of this box? And you can see there's references to sort of artwork, there's references to pencils, there's references to sort of scientific equipment and things. And you know, there's lots of different jobs where you are expected to problem solve, to solve ideas. So in scientific research, that's something from my background, I'm expected all the time to basically design new experiments to find different ways of being able to research into different diseases. And you do need to think outside the box and find different ways in which you can do that. And you need to find creative ways where you're going to help to do that in the most economical way as well. So I'm sure Sister Andalib also has an example from her profession.
Yes, so mine is to use words. So I work in the legal field, and it's to be creative with words. So if you're not allowed to use the word, for example, house, what shall we use instead? So shall we use dwelling? Shall we use a place of residence? So although it sounds boring, but in my profession is to use words and utilize them in different and creative ways. And we use that a lot. So can you be creative with this legal terminology? And then it's like, oh, can we? And yeah, you do. So you can be creative with words as well as your mind as well. So that's so I think it's Masi mentioned that, and I think that's absolutely correct. So
yeah,
and I think
she's mentioned synonyms. So yeah, so you're mentioning synonyms, aren't you? So different versions of the same word and being creative with that. And another place that was very, very useful. So it's really useful that somebody like on the leap can you know be really creative with words is in poetry. And inshallah, we're going to talk about poetry as well in this workshop as well. So you can be creative by writing, can't you? You can be creative by being able to write a book, whether that's a fictional book or a non-fictional book. You could be creative in the way that you play around with words and create poetry. You know, so there's lots of different ways to be creative with words as well. And Masi's also mentioned projects and ideas for starting your own charity and helping the homeless. This day and age, that people have very, very creative methods for raising money. So that's a very, very good example you've given there, Masi.
And even as when we were children, it's being creative with your time. So when we used to think that, oh, I'm bored, your mind starts playing with you and say, okay, so how can we be creative and use our time? So it might be, let's go out and play, or pretend the walls are the Great Wall of China or something and try to get over it. So you know,
that's a really good example, because when I was younger, we didn't have a lot of these technology gadgets that we have these days, and I had my brothers and sisters, so there was a lot of us, and we always were doing some form of imaginative play where we were making up different scenarios and sort of like doing different role plays and things, and we had quite a lot of fun growing up doing that, where we used to imagine, we used to get our blankets and create a tent and imagine where we're camping and all sorts and stuff. So imaginative play is a really, really good way of being creative. And if you're good like that, and you're good at being able to engage young children in sort of creative play, then you'll make a really good teacher for especially some of the younger kids who learn through creative play, don't they, a lot of the times.
Definitely. And like you said, there's a box there, and although there's lots of things coming outside of that box, I know 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds will probably make that a hiding place or their mansion. You know, so they can play with just a box.
Yeah.
Creative with them.
Yeah, they say a lot of the times you give a young child a present and they're not really interested in the present. They're more interested in the box and playing around with the box and being curious about the box, aren't they? So that's a really good example. Okay, so we've had some really wonderful examples about how we can be creative, okay, with different sort of methods, and the fact that everybody can be creative in lots of different ways. So I'm just going to summarize that in this next clip, which is a little video. Again, it's a very short video, but it kind of explains what we mean about the bigger definition of creativity. Okay.
When you hear the word creative, you might think of a painter, or a playwright, or an author, or a photographer, or a filmmaker, or a chef. In other words, you might think of people who make things. I think it's what we mean when we use a label like creative type. But there's no such thing as creative type. We are all creative, every one of us. We just need a bigger definition of creativity. Yes, creativity involves making things, but it can also mean mashing up ideas in innovative ways. It can mean thinking differently about data and finding unique solutions to practical problems. It can mean hacking systems and tweaking things in unusual ways. It can mean exploring ideas and navigating information until you become an expert curator. It can mean designing systems that empower the creative work of others. It can mean creating change in the world by speaking truth and leading movements and interacting with people. See, each of these creative approaches shape our world in profound ways. And the more we see the creativity all around us, the more we are able to appreciate the creativity inside ourselves.
Okay, so I thought that was a really nice little video which kind of summarizes some of the things that we've already mentioned. But also, I think it kind of just emphasized some of the things that we've all said already, isn't it? The fact that everybody can be creative, but there's lots of different ways in which we can be creative. Okay.
And I think I like the something that was mentioned within that video is you can be creative to just be able to voice the truth. So, you know, that's something that I wouldn't have thought of. But
yeah, it's very, very, very true that. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide then. So we're going to try and be creative today, okay? And we're going to try and touch upon two of the definitions that we mentioned regarding what creativity is: to make something new or imaginative, and the ability to produce something original and unusual ideas, okay? So the first definition, to make something new or imaginative, we're gonna hopefully have a go at origami. Now, I've got a couple of video clips that are gonna help us do some origami. Now, neither me or Andalib have done this, so we're going to be doing it alongside you as well. It's the first time we're going to do as well, so hopefully we can all succeed in this and we can all be creative together. So if you all have got your A4 sheets of paper and your scissors, then get those ready because we're going to need them in a little while. And then the next definition was the ability to produce sort of original and sort of unusual ideas, and we're going to touch upon sort of poetry in that. So we're not going to actually make our own poetry, but we're going to touch about poetry and learn a little bit about poetry in the second part of this. Okay, so I've got two different sort of origami clips, but depending on time, we'll see how we get on with the first one, and depending on time, we'll see whether we can fit in the second one as well. Okay, but let's move on to the origami slide. Okay, so what is origami? Well, I think it was Elisa that mentioned it at the start of our workshop today, that she mentioned that it was where you can do art folding paper, and that's exactly what it means. So origami is derived from the word ori, which means folding, and kami, which means paper. So it's basically the art of folding paper, and it's often associated with Japanese culture. You know, a lot of Japanese people that can make very, very creative things using origami. And if you type origami into YouTube, there'll be lots of different video clips that you can do that are all to do with doing some sort of origami folding of paper and making really good creative images. If you go back to this first slide, you can see here that there's somebody's managed to fold paper and make birds, boats, butterflies, an elephant even, been creative in lots of different ways. So we're gonna inshallah use origami in the simplest way. But I had a look at the video, even though I've not tried it, I've had a look and I didn't think it was very simple, but hopefully we'll be able to do this. But it's basically making an origami star, and it's going to be a 5-point star, and then inshallah, if you have time, we're also going to make this moon as well. Okay, and all you need to make both of these things is just one sheet of A4 paper and a pair of scissors. Okay, so you don't need very, very much to be able to join in. So the reason why I chose the moon and the star was because, there is a little bit of reference to the crescent moon and the star in Islam. So it kind of has, the crescent moon in particular, that's also known as Hilal in Arabic, it's even though there's no actual religious significance for it in Islam in terms of the Islam as such, but it has been used as a symbol for Islam, and you actually find it in a lot of flags from Islamic countries. Now, can somebody mention what the flag is over here? So I've got a picture of a flag here. Does anybody know which country that flag is for? That's got the moon and the star. So Fazan straight away has put his hand up. Pakistan, yes, that's correct. And what was really important about Pakistan in the recent days? So a couple of days ago, I think it was the 14th of August. What was the significance of the 14th of August in Pakistan?
It was on Thursday.
It was on Thursday. Okay, so what was the significance?
It was the Independence Day.
The Independence Day, yes, mashallah. So so the Pakistan flag has definitely got a crescent moon and a star on there, and there's various other flags that either have just a moon on there or just a star or a combination of both, and often they're Islamic countries that have a combination of both the moon and the star on there.
Just to add with the star, although when we said there's no religious significance in Islam, however, in a lot of the surahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by these stars and swears by stars that we don't recognize, about the falling stars. So so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts a great emphasis on his creation, and one of them is stars. So maybe you can, after the lesson, go back to the 30th juz and see in the small ayats which ones mention stars, because there's a few that do.
Yeah.
So yeah,
very good point there. There's a lot of references to the stars and even the moon as well in the Holy Quran. So it's definitely worth exploring that in the Quran. So the crescent moon often represents progress, and we within Islam, our Islamic calendar is based on the lunar calendar, which is tied to the different phases of the moon. Okay, so as soon as you see the sighting of the new moon, which is that very slight slither of crescent, then we know that it's going to be the new Islamic month, and in a few days' time we are going to be coming back to the start of a new month. And in fact, it's going to be our new Islamic year. Does anybody know what that Islamic month is going to be?
Muharram.
Muharram, very good. That's excellent. So, and again, the 5-pointed star, as well as what Sister Andalib said, that the reference to it in the Quran potentially represents the fact about light and knowledge. And I just wanted to share this with you. Okay, so this is following on from what Andalib did mention about the fact that the stars are mentioned quite a lot in the Quran. Especially in the final juz. juz number 30, and also the moon is referenced in the Quran. And I want to mention Surah Shams here, okay? Because in Surah Shams, so does anybody know what Shams means, what it's referring to?
It means the sun.
It means the sun, excellent. And what is the sun?
Light. It's basically
Yeah, so it is light, but what is it as a physical form? What is it? It's something that we're actually talking about right now.
It is a ball made up of many gases, and it gives up us light, and because of it our day is lightened.
Yep, so you're scientific on me, but I want an even simpler answer there. So we're talking about it at the moment. So the sun is actually an example of a star. Okay, so it's the closest star we have to Earth. Okay, it's the star that gives us light. Without it, everything on the Earth would perish. We need the sunlight from the sun. So Shams means the sun. Okay, and in the ayat number 2 in Surah Shams, it says, and the moon when it follows the sun. And I was actually looking on, I think I mentioned this website last week to you, alaslam.org. It's got lots of wonderful books on there. And one of the books that I found on there was Hayat al-Qulub Volume 3. Now, Hayat al-Qulub was written by somebody known as Muhammad Baqir Majlisi. And it's a 3-volume book. Okay, so there's 3 parts to it. And it's kind of like really,
tell the book's name again.
Hayat al-Qulub, I've got it written here on the slide at the bottom. Okay, so the 3 different volumes, so one of the volumes talks all about all of the prophets in Islam, just all of the prophets in Islam. The second volume talks all about it's a whole biography of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the 3rd volume is all about our beloved Ahl Bayt al-Islam. Okay, and in the 3rd volume, in part 18, there's a whole section on traditions explaining the sun, the moon, the stars, and the affirmation of as the holy imams. And I just want to touch upon this this quote from the Holy Quran that I mentioned from Surah Shams, and the moon when it follows the sun, because in Hayat al-Qulub it mentions that Ali ibn Ibrahim narrates a tradition from Imam Sadiq al-Islam in the commentary on Surah Shams, and that is that Shams refers to the Holy Prophet ﷺ, through whom the Almighty Allah has explained the religion to the people. And the Imam said that the moon refers to Amir al-Mu'mineen Imam Ali al-Islam as the light of the moon from the sun, in the same way that Ali al-Islam acquired knowledge from our beloved Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So that's a beautiful example of where the moon and the stars have got a deeper meaning. Okay, so did you want to add to that?
Hadith, by the way. We were speaking about how in the event of Mubahila, how the most important characteristic or virtue of Imam Ali is that they were known as the self of Rasul Khuda, and this is just another way, again, when we're talking about creativity and words and describing, this is another way to describe using beautiful creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sun and the moon. Exactly that, because the sun reflects light and obviously that's bounced onto the moon, and it's exactly the same light. So yeah,
so
mashallah, I like that. That's very
so that's a beautiful example, and it's a really good analogy again that Andalib has mentioned there. So just look at the way that Andalib is very good at sort of like linking what we're learning to various parts of the topics that we're learning. So it's really good to engage in any topic in that way, where you link things together. So this is why we decided to find origami for a moon and the star, because of the references in Islam, inshallah. Okay. So let's go to the first origami. So if you've all got your pieces of paper, we're going to try the star first, okay, the 5-point star. So I've got my piece of paper as well, and I've misplaced my scissors, but inshallah I'll find them in a little while. But I'm going to play this video, and hopefully we can all we can all follow this video. If you've got your papers and your scissors, then let's all try and follow this and make a star. So the first point is we're going to make a pentagon from the square, and then we're going to move into the next video where we're actually going to make the star, okay?
Hi folks, it's Tobias here from homemadegiftsmadeeasy.com. In this video, I'll show you how to fold a square into a pentagon. So first, fold your square in half like this. Then take the bottom left corner here and fold it up to meet that top edge. Then unfold it and take this corner down to meet the bottom edge. And then unfold it again, and now you'll have this cross-shaped crease here. Now take this bottom right corner and fold it so that it goes right to the middle of that cross there, and then make this crease. Now you want to take that same corner and you want to fold this edge to meet this edge. So we're going to fold that across to the right, like so. Then we're going to take this bottom edge here to meet this edge here.
Can you please play the video from the start because I could not see it properly?
I will do in a minute, yeah.
Okay, so your paper should look something like this. Now turn it over, and we're just going to fold this in half. So take the left side and fold it to the right. So your paper should look something like this. And now what we're going to do is take the scissors and just cut along this edge here, right along the edge of that paper. So I'm going to take the scissors and cut. And then when you unfold, you'll find that you have a perfect pentagon.
Wow.
Thanks for watching.
Well, I'm going to replay that because I didn't have my scissors with
Hi
me.
folks, it's
And
Tobias.
I'm going to hopefully pause it at every sort of little part, so hopefully we can all follow it, because I'm very slow with these things myself, so I think I need that. So okay, so let's play it from the start, and I'll pause it after every little section, okay?
Here from homemadegiftsmadeeasy.com. In this video, I'll show you how to fold a square into a pentagon. So first, fold your square in half like this. Then
So in half, okay? Let's carry on.
take the bottom left corner here and fold it up to meet that top edge.
Okay, so bottom left corner and up towards the top edge.
Then unfold it
Unfold
and
it,
take this corner down to meet the bottom edge.
go the opposite way.
And then unfold it again. And now you'll have this cross-shaped crease here. Now take this bottom right corner and fold it so that it goes right to the middle of that cross there. And then make this crease.
Okay, I'm going to pause there because just so bottom right corner up towards the center.
Now you want to take that same corner
I'm going to repeat that bit.
and then make this crease.
Okay.
Now you want to take that same corner and you want to fold this edge to meet this edge. So we're going to fold that across to the right, like so. Then we're going to take cross to the right to meet this edge. So we're going to fold that across to the right.
Yeah, I think I'm lost already, but I'm going to carry on playing it for you guys.
Like so. Then we're going to take this bottom edge here to meet this edge here. So we're going to fold this up like so. Okay, so your paper should look something like this. Now turn it over, and we're just going to fold this in half. So take the left side and fold it to the right.
Okay.
So your paper should look something like this. And now what we're going to do is take the scissors and just cut along this edge here, right along the edge of that paper. So I'm going to take the scissors and cut.
Can you please do the video back for only 10 seconds?
You'll find that you have a perfect pentagon. Thanks for watching.
Okay, I'm going to play it one more time, and this time I'm not going to stop it. Just so that everybody's...
Hi folks, it's Tobias here from HomeMadeGiftsMadeEasy.com. In this video, I'll show you how to fold a square into a pentagon. So first, fold your square in half like this. Then take the bottom left corner here and fold it up to meet that top edge. Then unfold it and take this corner down to meet the bottom edge. And then unfold it again, and now you'll have this cross-shaped crease here. Now take this bottom right corner and fold it so that it goes right to the middle of that cross there, and then make this crease. Now you want to take that same corner and you want to fold this edge to meet this edge. So we're going to fold that across to the right, like so. Then we're going to take this bottom edge here to meet this edge here. So we're going to fold this up, like so. Okay, so your paper should look something like this. Now turn it over. And we're just going to fold this in half. So take the left side and fold it to the right. So your paper should look something like this. And now what we're going to do is take the scissors and just cut along this edge here, right along the edge of that paper. So I'm going to take the scissors and cut. And then when you unfold, you'll find that you have a perfect pentagon. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so hopefully everybody's managed with that. I think I have managed making a pentagon, but it's not a perfect pentagon. Mine, I think my folds were a bit lax, so it's not. Mine wasn't a perfect pentagon, but I did manage to make somewhat of a pentagon. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one and see
Hi, folks.
whether we can do the star now. Using this pentagon, we're going to hopefully, inshallah, create a star. Mine might not be as neat as some of yours, but I'll try. I'll try my best. Okay. So let's play this video then. And again, I'll try and pause as we go along. Okay, so we can follow it through.
Hi folks, it's Tobias here from HomemadeGiftsMadeEasy.com. In this video, I'll show you how to fold a 5-pointed origami star like this one. So to begin with, you'll need a pentagonal sheet of paper like this. And if your paper has a nice side and a blank side, then start with the nice side facing down. So first up, what you want to do is take your pentagon and fold it in half. And then unfold it again. And then essentially what you want to do is fold it in half through each of the points. So there's 5 ways that you can fold it in.
So fold it now through each of the points. Okay, so I'm going to start playing again.
Half, and we're going to fold it in half each of those 5 ways. There we go. So now we've got a nice set of creases here that we can use as reference points for the next fold. Actually, I need to fold it one more time. There we go. So the next fold, what we're going to do is put it so that one of the points is facing up. And we're going to take this bottom edge and we're going to fold it up so that these 2 corners meet some of these creases that we've just made a second ago. So I'll zoom in a moment so that you can see a little better. So if you look here, this point is touching a crease that goes from the center out to that corner. And this corner is touching the crease that goes from the center out to that corner. So I hope you can see that. Actually, that's a good angle like that, so you can see what's going on there. So now what we want to do is undo that fold and then make the exact same fold for all the other sides of the pentagon. So I'm just going to turn it 1/5 of a turn and then fold this up and unfold 1/5 of a turn, same fold again, unfold 1/5 of a turn, fold it up, and unfold and look.
Okay, so let everybody catch up. Okay, is everybody ready? And Leap, are you ready for me to carry on?
I'm kind of lost, but yeah, carry on.
I'm lost as well, don't worry.
Last one, folding this up. Great. So now you should have a set of creases that look something like this. So let me just hold this at a few different angles so that you can see the creases. Now fold in the left side of the pentagon like this, and then take a hold of this corner here and pull it out to the left. And at the same time, you want to fold up the bottom of the pentagon. And you'll sort of squash it flat like that. So let me hold this a bit closer to the camera and show you again. So we folded in the left side of the pentagon. We're taking this corner, folding it out to the left, and at the same time folding up the bottom of the pentagon along one of those creases that we made, and then squashing everything flat. Then,
can you please go back a bit?
Yeah, of course.
folding it out to the left, and at the same time folding up the bottom of the pentagon, and pull it out to the left. And at the same time, you want to fold up the bottom of the pentagon. And you'll sort of squash it flat like that. So let me hold this a bit closer to the camera and show you again. So we folded in the left side of the pentagon. We're taking this corner, folding it out to the left, and at the same time folding up the bottom of the pentagon along one of those creases that we made, and then squashing everything flat. Then we're going to undo those folds, rotate the pentagon 1/5 of a turn clockwise, and then do the exact same thing again. So fold in the left, grab this corner, pull it out to the left, fold up the bottom, squash everything flat. And we're going to do that the whole way around the pentagon. So another 1/5 of a turn.
Okay, so basically you're repeating that first step again 5 times around the pentagon, opening it up every time. So as far as I understand, you're bringing the left forward, folding the left over, then folding the little bit at the bottom, and then squashing into a certain shape, and then turning your opening up again, turning your pentagon around and repeating that.
Can you go back a little, please?
Yeah. It's basically you're repeating that first
folding
step
it out
all
to
the way
left,
around.
and at the same time folding up the bottom of the pentagon along one of those creases that we made, and then squashing everything flat. Then we're going to undo those folds, rotate the pentagon 1/5 of a turn clockwise, and then do the exact same thing again. So fold in the left, grab this corner, pull it out to the left, fold up the bottom, squash everything flat. And we're going to do that the whole way around the pentagon. So another 1/5 of a turn clockwise, fold in the left, fold up the bottom at the same time as pulling out this corner to the left, squash it flat, another 1/5 of a turn, fold in the side, pull this corner out to the left at the same time as folding up the bottom.
So many
Great,
folds.
and I think this is the last one.
Okay, so get ready for the next step, everybody.
There we go. So once you've done that, what you want to do is pinch each of the points, each of the corners of your pentagon, and sort of bring them all to the center at the same time. It's a little bit fiddly, but just sort of squash them all in together. And what you'll find is that as you squash them in, you'll be able to collapse everything into this star shape like that. It's kind of magic. So once you've got that, then turn over your star shape.
I'm just going to pause it for everybody to catch up. I'll play that last bit again. I have got something that resembles what he does, but it's nowhere near as neat as what he's done. It's a bit all over the place, my one, but let's hope everybody else is neat than mine.
It's a little bit fiddly, but just sort of squash them all in together. And what you'll find is that as you squash them in, you'll be able to collapse everything into this star shape like that. It's kind of magic. So once you've got that, then turn over your star shape. And then what I'm going to do is take this edge here, this right-hand edge.
Okay, I'm just going to pause it there so everybody gets to position their stars the way he's positioned his. And then let's... Okay.
No.
Sorry?
I was gonna say, does anyone want to show us their star?
Yeah, let's do that at the end. Let's finish off making this star, and inshallah, let's show our stars.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take this edge here, this right-hand edge, and I'm going to fold it in to meet the center line here. like so. And
Can you go backwards like by a minute?
Not 5 minutes, because otherwise we won't get through the rest of the thing. You can also have a go at this on your own after the session. Let's carry on because we have got a few more things to finish before this workshop ends. But I'll go back to this last step.
and then what I'm going to do is take this edge here, this right-hand edge, and I'm going to fold it in to meet the center line here. Like so. And then I'm going to keep going around the star and do the exact same thing for all the other points.
Okay.
So I'm working my way clockwise around the star. The last one is always a little bit fiddly, but you can still do it. Excuse me. And just fold it in. And there we go. There is the 5-pointed origami star. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so, oh, I've gone into the thing. Okay, let me come out of. Can you also see my PowerPoint presentation? Or is that gone?
Yes.
Yeah, you can also see my PowerPoint presentation, can you? Okay, let me go back. Oh, where is it? Okay, yeah, cool. So, okay, so should we share? Who wants to share? Who wants to share their stars? So, and the leave is still at hexagon by the looks of it.
I'm stuck at the hexagon because when you started saying go move to the 5 points, I was like, mine's not a perfect hexagon for a start. So I think that's,
you know what? So mine wasn't either. And as I was making the folds, I realized the bits I needed chopping off. So I carried on chopping additional bits off to make it a bit neater, but it still didn't end up with a very neat star. So this is mine. Can you see it?
oh, you've still got something, mashallah.
But it's not very neat. Can you see? It's a bit wonky. Can you see the points aren't very neat on my one?
But you've still got something. I think the first step I did.
Yeah, okay, so who else wants to share their stars? Does anybody want to raise their hands and share the stars or at whatever point they got to?
No, I don't think anyone.
Is nobody being brave enough? We were brave, look.
Share your hexagon.
Yeah, share your hexagon. It doesn't matter what stage you reached. Inshallah, you can go back and you can watch the video again and you can repeat it. My one looks very, very untidy, really untidy, and I keep wanting to cut it to make it look like neater points, but I'm just going to leave it as my first attempt.
Yeah. But I think if you got the hexagon, that was a star.
Yeah, hexagon. I struggled with the hexagon. My first attempt of the hexagon was this. It's still a sheet of paper. Oh. I got lost. I don't know whether you can see it, but I got lost with it. So it was like that.
I found easy. The star I found hard.
Anybody want to share? Okay, so Nabia said that she didn't understand the last part. That's fine, but you can repeat that. Should we have a go? We've got about 20 minutes to 25 minutes, maybe if we do 10 minutes extra in this lecture.
Oh, stop!
Hello. Okay, so do people want to? You can write in the chat if you want to do the moon. I think the moon is meant to be a bit easier. Should we have a go at the moon?
Are you sure? It looks very complicated, Assistant Nadia.
No, I think the moon, looking at the video, I think the moon was a bit easier, and you don't have to make a hexagon with the moon, you only have to make a diamond.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm happy to have a go.
Let's have a go at the moon, and then hopefully, if people are brave enough, we'll share the moon. Okay, so this is the moon. Ready? I'm going to start playing, and again, I'll pause it at the relevant bits. You all need another A4 piece of paper, and a scissors as well. Let's get started. So people do want to attempt the moon. So
hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make an origami moon. This was one of the first origami I taught on my channel. As it is very beautiful, I decided to bring an improved and better explained version. To do it, we need a paper diamond. To make a paper diamond, first we need a square. So, I recommend 20 by 20 centimeters, 8 by 8 inches, and the first step is to fold in half diagonally. Just like that.
Pause it, please.
Okay, so because we've all got an A4 sheet of paper, the first thing you need to do is make a square. So does everybody know how to make a square from an A4 sheet of paper? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's all do that first, so that we're at the first stage. So let's all make a square. So we fold one corner all the way across, and then we fold the bottom corner, so the bottom part up, and then we just cut along that line. So if I just show you, fold that corner over, and then you just fold this bit up above, and then you can just tear along, you can just cut along that line, and you should have a square. Again, my square is not very neat, but let's do the best we can in these very challenging circumstances. So I'll give you all about a minute to get your squares. Okay. Then I have a bit of a wonky square, but it'll have to do. Okay, so I'm going to start playing it again. So let me just
now unfold.
A bit.
First step is to fold in half diagonally. Just like that.
So fold diagonally, you square.
Now unfold, rotate the paper, and fold this edge to the middle.
Okay, let me go back a little bit.
Now unfold, rotate the paper, and fold this edge to the middle. Now repeat the same with the other edge. Again, just fold to the middle. This side's okay. Now rotate the paper and repeat on the other. Both edges to the middle. And just fold to the middle. This side's okay. Now rotate the paper and repeat on the other. Both edges to the middle.
Can you repeat it?
With this done, this side's okay. Now rotate the paper and repeat on the other, both edges to the middle. This done, let's cut the paper on these creases, and we have our die.
Okay. Let everybody catch up.
This side's okay. Now rotate the paper and repeat on the other, both edges to the middle. With this done, let's cut the paper on these creases, and we have our diamond. Now to make the origami, first turn the paper over and fold one edge to the other. With this done, let's cut the paper on these creases, and we have our diamond.
Okay, so whilst people are cutting
now
their
to make
diamonds,
the origami,
I'm gonna play from
first turn the paper over and fold one edge to the other, square.
I'm gonna play from the start, relatively
Now,
at the start, so that people can catch up. But those people that are at the right stage, you just carry on cutting out your diamond, please.
Now unfold, rotate the paper, and fold this edge to the middle. Now repeat the same with the other edge. Again, just fold to the middle.
I'm done.
This side's okay. Now rotate the paper and repeat on the other, both edges to the middle. With this done, let's cut the paper on these creases, and we have our diamond. Now to make the origami.
Okay, I'm gonna pause there and give you all a minute to carry on cutting out your diamonds, and then I'm gonna carry on, okay? Okay, so I've got a diamond, again, not a very neat diamond. And hopefully at this point, you might not need your scissors, might be wrong, but just keep them close by. So I'm gonna wait until Sister Underleap says she's ready.
I'm nearly there.
Okay, and then I'll carry on playing. Struggle with the moon and the star. I don't know how these people make elephants, but inshallah with practice, we can all get better at this.
I have something like a diamond.
MashaAllah, great stuff. Okay, so I'm going to carry on playing. So if you all have your diamonds close by, I'm going to carry on playing now.
Paper over and fold one edge to the other.
So turn your paper over and then
like that.
Fold one and just play that bit again.
And fold one edge to the other. Like that.
Can you just do that again?
Yeah, I think I need to for my
The origami.
as well.
First, turn the paper over.
Turn it over. I've got
and
that
fold
bit.
one edge to the other. Like that.
Okay.
Then undo. And now fold both.
Okay, so are we all at this bit? Yeah? Okay, so then you undo. And then
edges to this last crease, to the middle.
Split to the middle.
Undo. This side's okay.
Okay. So just letting everybody catch up there. So I'm just going to play that bit again so people can catch up.
To this last crease, to the middle. Undo. This side's okay. Now we just need to repeat on the other. First one edge to the other, and then both to the middle. With this, the paper was divided into several small diamonds.
Okay, so is everybody caught up? I'll just play that last little bit again, please.
Both to the middle.
So you should have a paper with lots of diamonds on it.
With this, the paper was divided into several small diamonds. Now turn it over. And for the next step, we must divide each diamond in half horizontally, as in this image, making these folds.
Okay, so pay attention,
The first
everybody.
one on the middle is already done. Let's just reinforce. Then fold the bottom corner to the middle, in this point. Fold it.
Okay, so everybody caught up. So we've done the folding in half first, and then the bottom one to the middle point. Fold it over as he's got in the image right now. Okay, so let's carry on playing.
Top as well.
Do the top point as well.
And unfold both.
Unfold both.
Now let's fold in half the others. First fold this corner to the first horizontal line. Then unfold. And now let's fold to this other horizontal on the top. Here. Just make the same marks that I showed in the previous image. Now do the same on the top. First this corner here. Then here. All right. Now, for the next step, we need to close the paper. So turn it over and bring all the horizontals up and the diagonals down. Just like that.
Okay,
you just need to watch.
Rewind that bit again.
Then here. All right. Now, for the next step, we need to close the paper. So turn it over and bring all the horizontals up and the diagonals down. Just like that. You just need to watch and repeat. Close the paper and this happens almost automatically.
Automatically or automatically?
Not very automatic for me.
Now at the end, just reinforce a little. And open this side. With this done, our paper moon is ready. Well, that's it. Congratulations to all
I'm
those.
going to go back to this bit.
Turn it over and bring all the horizontals up and the diagonals down. Just like that. You just need to watch and repeat. Close the paper and this happens almost automatically. Now at the end, just reinforce a little. And open this side. With this done, our paper moon is ready.
Ready.
Well, that's it. Congratulations to all those who were able to do.
Okay, congratulations everybody who was able to do it. I got as far as the last bit and then mine wasn't folding up and in like the way his was.
I think what's happened is with me, I made the folds on the same side.
Yeah, okay. And with me, I got confused which side he turned it to, but then even when I tried it both ways, it didn't fold in the way he was folding it in. I think I didn't do my creases hard enough. Yeah, I think they were a bit loose. So there's my diamond shaped moon and my star, my wonky star.
Say I have a hexagon and a diamond.
The diamond, mashallah. Excellent. Excellent. So now we have these videos. Obviously, we can practice, can't we? And these are meant to be quite simple bits of origami. Does anybody want to share their moon?
Don't forget to.
Oh, does anybody want to share? So I've written time to share because I really do want you to share. You know, if you want to raise your hand and share, whatever stage you reach, you can see with me and the leap, I managed to get a star, but it was a bit of a wonky star. I got to the last stage of the moon and then it didn't work for me. With Sister and the leap, again, she tried very hard and she's got to the latter stages. I think you've got the folding bits, haven't you? But it's when it's bringing it all together at the end, there was a bit of confusion. Does anybody I really want to see some of your work, even though it's semi-finished. I really want to see what stages some of you have managed to get to. So does anybody else want to share, please? Who's going to be brave and share? At least one person I want to see, inshallah. Let's be brave.
Anyone?
Anybody want to raise their hand and share the stage that they reached? Did anybody, okay, if you don't want to share, did anybody want to write in the chat whether they managed to finish either the moon or the star, whether it was wonky or not? Did anybody manage to finish? Did everybody still hear me?
So Fazan, you've written the moon a few times. Did you actually attempt the moon? No? Okay, not to worry. If you do want to share, it's not a problem. Oh, Nabiha, you've got your hand up?
Yeah. Go ahead, Nabiha, if you want to share. You want to share?
I have only made my hexagon and diamond.
That's fine. Do you want to? I mean, obviously, some of you might be. Yeah, perfect. Do you want to share your hexagon and your diamonds? Mashallah. Well, that's a very neat hexagon, isn't it?
Definitely, mashallah.
Very neat hexagon and diamond. So you got to similar stages as Andalib did, and I did with my moon. Mashallah. So that was really, really brave, and mashallah, really good attempt. there, Nabiha? Anybody else want to share? Okay, did anybody, okay, if you don't want to share, did anybody manage to finish both or at least one of the...
Yeah, or do you want to just tell us what you thought of origami? I know it's I don't really want to do much of, but is it that you enjoyed? And would you carry on with it? It is still one way of being creative, and with your hands, it is the best way of being creative, obviously, because everyone's able to visualize it and see it. Would you like to be doing origami? Or...
Okay, so Elisa's mentioned that she made one of them. Which one did you make, Elisa? Okay, Masi didn't manage to finish any of them. That's fine. You've got you can watch this video back when it's posted on the MUS website, and you can have a practice again. That's absolutely fine.
So remember, like we said, creativity is not the same for everyone.
Everybody,
so,
yeah.
I tried, and Sister Nadia still got somewhere, and I tried. So, well, Fazan, you've got your hand up again.
Oh, hi, Fazan.
Hi, Fazan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Oh, mashallah, he's got a moon there. Wow.
Didn't make the star.
You managed to make the star, but the moon, you've done a really nice, good job at the moon, haven't you? Yeah, mashallah, that's really, really good. Wow, I'm very impressed with that, mashallah. So your my star, they need to find their way to each other, because my star is missing a moon. Alhamdulillah, that's really good. So Nabia says, please share the slides on your account. So Nabia, I'm going to mention the MUS, hopefully their email address, and I'll pass on my slides to them, and they'll inshallah share it with all the participants after the workshop at some point. Okay, so well done everybody. That was quite challenging. I find this sort of stuff very, very challenging. I'm not very creative doing things in the, you know, I'm good at other things with my hands, but not doing origami at all. So it was quite challenging, but everybody attempted it, and you know, now you can practice it and inshallah get better at it. Okay, I just wanted to show you another, I'm not going to play this video, I just wanted to show you this. So again, it's the link to it is on your on the slides, but this person, he does quite a lot of origami for you know, lots of different faith type of things, and for his he recognized that he's got a lot of Muslim followers, but he didn't have very many Muslim symbols, and so he decided to make this all-in-one star and moon using just one sheet of A4 paper.
Can you please send the slides? I send the email address on the chat.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll get the MUS office, inshallah, to forward the slides onto the people that want them, inshallah. So yeah, so this person just wants, you can watch this video in your own time. I've put the link in for you, but look at how amazing that is. So we created a, you know, separate moon and a star, but this person's managed to use one sheet of paper to make a star and a moon together. So it's really, really impressive, mashallah. So that's enough of origami. I think we've been well and truly challenged with the origami. Let's move, oh, let's not play that. Let's move on to the next debate, which was poetry. So the ability to produce original and unusual ideas. Okay, so the example for that is poetry. Now the definition of poetry, in the last, I would say we've probably got 5 to 10 minutes left of this workshop, inshallah. But the thing about poetry, the definition of poetry, and some of you might already be good poets, you know, some of you might have done it in schools, some of you, you know, might already be writing poetry, you know. You know, I know Sister Andalib has attempted it in various workshops. I've attempted it. Again, it takes me a bit of effort to think about words and things. But essentially, the definition is the art of rhythmical composition, written or spoken, for exciting pleasure, by beautiful, imaginative, or elevated thoughts. Okay, so basically using written word or spoken word in a rhythmical way. Sometimes there's various different ways in which you can bring rhyming words together. Some poems don't rhyme as well. But I just wanted to mention how we use poetry to commemorate the month of Muharram. So we all know in a few days' time, this week in fact, is going to be the start of our Islamic New Year. And we start our Islamic New Year with sadness, where we commemorate the tragedy of Karbala. Okay, and what happened, where Imam Hussein al-Islam, stood against injustice and spoke up against tyrant, and as a result, Imam Hussein al-Islam, his beloved family members and his beloved companions, a lot of them were martyred, and a lot of the women and children were then held prisoner by the tyrant at the time, Yazid. Okay. So it's a very, very sad time, and here I've got an image of the shrine of Imam Hussein al-Islam. Just out of interest, how many people have managed to go and ziyarat and visit the shrine of Imam Hussein al-Islam and some of the other ziyarats? So on the leave as
I have
said, okay, so who was
I
that?
have visited the shrine of Imam Hussein on the Irvine 2019.
Okay, so was that Nabiha?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so mashallah, Nabiha has managed
I also
to
have
visit.
visited Urbane.
Mashallah, mashallah. So you both managed to go on Arbeen. I know and the Leeb has managed to go on Arbeen as well. And I know that and the Leeb is quite sad as well, and I'm quite sad as well. But and the Leeb tries to go every year as much as she can to Karbala. And it's unfortunate this year with the current pandemic situation, a lot of us will not be able to visit the our beloved shrine of our Al-Bayt al-Islam in Iraq.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's for all of the world, isn't it? Because
yeah,
people who live in Karbala who will be able to go to the Imam shrine, and obviously for Najaf, only the people of Najaf can go. So we are deprived this year, but if we look at the positive, that every household in the world will be commemorating in their own houses the tradition of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. So we should also look at the positive side of the things that happen to us too.
Definitely, I agree with that completely. And one of the ways in which we commemorate is through poetry. Okay, so I'm sure you're all exposed to this during Muharram. There's recitations of Nohe and Murzia and spoken word, where we lament and remember the tragedy of Karbala, and we do matam. And it's all a way in which we express our sadness at what took place during Karbala, and express our sadness for how our beloved Imam Hussein al-Islam and his beloved companions and family members were treated. And so I'm sure a lot of you, some of you might recite Noah. Does anybody here recite Noah or Murzia?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes. So Sister Andaleeb has. Anybody else? Do any of your parents or family members recite Noah or Murzia? Does anybody have family members where they do recitation?
I'm sure even if you don't recite regularly,
I do.
Farzan, yes, go ahead.
MashaAllah. So Farzan said that he did recite. Misam said he visited Iraq last year. So this is Misam's sister actually. Misam's sister has mentioned that she visited Iraq last year. Alhamdulillah. And Farzan recites poetry. So I'm gonna, so it's a really, really beautiful way in which we can express. I'm sure when you listen to Noha and Murzia and spoken word about this tragic event, everybody gets very, very emotional. I definitely get very, very emotional, and it brings sadness into my heart and it brings tears to my eyes. And so I want to share with you in the next slide a poem. Okay, so this is a poem by a famous poet now. He appears on Alibert TV. He appears on lots of different platforms. He appears on YouTube. He's got his own website. So I've mentioned his website up here, nourisadar.com. His name is Nouri Sardar. His wife, Abir Safa, is also a poet. And he has participated in Alibert TV channel, a particular program called Poetry Corner. And in that Poetry Corner, so I'll put the link for that, the TV channel and that particular show, again, the link for it over here. And I've shown you down here a kind of a list of the different workshops, and they're only, I think they're like 10 to 15 minute long workshops. He's got 6 where he talks you through how you can write poetry. So he's very, very well known for his poetry. So he's done 6 different workshops, where the first part he focuses in on creativity of a poem, and the second part on how to structure your poem, the third part on how to do the wordplay, how to bring words together, the fourth part, what type of content, fifth part, what sorts of topics you might choose for your poetry, and then the sixth part in terms of, you know, if you want to become a poet, how to market that poem and stuff. So it's very, very useful if you want to become better at writing poetry and you want to you know, get some advice on that. It's really, really nice workshops to watch, and they're not very, very long. So if you follow this link, you'll be able to be taken to those 6 workshops. But I want to play this particular poem to you. It's a very short poem, and Nouri Sadar was honored, as he is a lot of the times, a lot every year, to be able to go to Karbala. And as they were changing the flag, the changing of the flag ceremony that takes place, where they changed the red flag of Imam Hussain al-Islam to the black flag, which signifies the start of Muharram, on the shrine of Imam Hussain al-Islam, he was standing very, very close by, and he recited a very short poem in honor of that sort of that took place. So I'm going to just share this poem with you, okay? And it will probably bring sadness into your heart because it is in relation to Muharram.
The month of sorrow on the horizon peers. The dark shroud of grief in the skies appears. Gathered in mourning, our family and peers, as an immortal tale we remember. The world watches as they come to change his flag from red to black, just like the moon changes its color from white to red, changes the comfort of the eye to weep tears. Every eye weeps the absence of its beloved. Every eye weeps the absence of its beloved. The night sees the sadness of its beloved. Can someone left so alone be loved so much that his love tears up every lover? Tonight, flags of black are raised on all shrines. Tonight, flags of black are raised on all shrines. In mourning, Karbala, she recites, she rhymes, her poetry in every heart shines as every eye turns to look at Karbala. And with her we bear the weight of grief, a weight, and wait mere hours to mourn Hussein, a weight that every lover dreads, yet awaits the weight of a servant to mourn his master. The flag of black, a symbol they raise. Every ounce of desire, sin it would raise to the ground, for it emits rays of light that burn the sins of every sinner. And with that we welcome the month of Muharram. Assalamu alaikum, ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein.
Okay, so it brings emotion to you listening to these poems on Muharram, because it reminds you of what happened at the tragedy of Karbala, the Battle of Karbala, and it's a very sad time, but it's a time that we learn from as well. We learn about strength and patience during this time as well. You know, the women and children were incredibly patient. Imam Hussain al-Islam, when he lost his beloved family and companions, was incredibly patient and very, very honourable in the way that our beloved Imam al-Islam you know, acted in that situation, and he did everything, you know, he sacrificed everything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you know, we see, you know, when we go to the shrines, you know, like, you know, over 14,000 years later, how many people flock to the shrines of Imam Hussain al-Islam, how many people remember what Imam Hussain al-Islam stood for. Just shows you the importance of what our beloved Imam al-Islam stood for, and all the other personalities surrounding that tragedy as well. So I just wanted to ask whether anybody wanted to share with them, Masi says that me and my sister recite Noahs and poems in Majlis, mashallah. Nabia also says that she listens to many Arabic Noahs, mashallah. Does anybody want to say a few words about what that poem meant to them, or the emotions they felt whilst they were listening to it? So maybe listen to one or two people. Andali, do you want to start, maybe?
Yeah. So I know that when the flag changes in Karbala from the red to the black, that is a sign of Muharram, and that is when everyone's heart completely sinks. Whether you see it on TV or whether you see it when you're actually in Karbala, it's all of a sudden it's sorrow that just emits into you. And I think that's what he really touched upon when he talked about the flag changing or glistening on every shrine, that Muharram is here, and that really got to me. And I think it gets to a lot of people, and that's why there's this flag changing ceremony, which is also important, because it's an announcement to the world that one, it's the Islamic New Year, but it's an Islamic New Year begun at such unfortunate circumstances, and we should never forget that.
Yeah, I agree. Does anybody else want to share anything by muting their mic? Anybody? It's fine if you don't. I've got a few.
I went to the washroom that time.
Oh, that's fine. Okay, so Nabia's posted where she's posted another poet who she listens to quite a lot. He's a very famous poet as well. Hassan Sulman says that he also recites sometimes. So the reason why I wanted to show you this was just to remind you, that it is going to be the start of Muharram soon, so we need to prepare ourselves for this month and what this month stands for. And one way, a beautiful way in which we can commemorate it and commemorate the sadness is if we express ourselves through poetry. Okay, and we might not be experts in poems ourselves, but there's lots of experts that do exist. I've posted these links here so you can go and explore these links, and inshallah, some of you have said that you've already write poetry and recite nohas and listen to nohas, but maybe this will inspire you all to go away and write your own poetry and express to the world and your families what this month of Muharram means to you. So Nabia has mentioned that she listens to this person, the Imam, and she mentions that Imam Hussain al-Islam teaches us patience, bravery, defending ourselves, fighting for the truth, not bowing down in front of somebody instead of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and standing for justice. And I agree with all of those points. You've expressed those beautifully, and it'd be beautiful if you could express those points in a poem as well, inshallah. So this is something for you to all consider, going forward in the month of Muharram, whether you want to start writing poetry, and these are some resources to help you with that, inshallah. Okay, so moving on to the final slide. Okay, so this is again about poetry. Okay, and I'm going to leave Sister Andali to maybe talk you through this slide. This book is written by somebody that both of us know, somebody in our community, and I'm going to leave it to Sister Andali to share with you, what inspires her from this book, inshallah.
So this is a book written by a sister, as you can see, it says on the top, Sister Maya Zara, and she's taken inspiration from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's names. Now, reciting Asma'ul Husna, which is Allah's 99 names or tarifs, is recommended, and those people who recite Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim many times, they receive blessings that only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, but I'm sure if you go on to certainduas.org, it mentions all the benefits of reciting the Asma'ul Husna, the 99 names. Now, one of the meanings that we've got on the screen here is Ar-Rahman. And Ar-Rahman we can read here together, which means the most beneficent. Now, Sister Maya has gone through that and just taken out all the important bits of what Ar-Rahman means. She's also utilized so we'll read it together. Let's read it first and then we'll talk about it. So Allah is Ar-Rahman, meaning the most beneficent, as He is kind, loving, and gives very generously. He forgives and shows mercy to all of us. We should say, Ar-Rahman, I thank you, daily. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 163, it is said that there is no God but He, and speaks of His mercy. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Quran's chapters start as Allah wants us to recite this name and keep in our It's very beautifully. She's not used a lot of things. She has just concentrated on Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. So, and that's basically on Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Two things, two qualities, or two isms of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that she's concentrated of. And she's used, like we said, very creative ways of writing. So the very first sentence, Allah is Ar-Rahman, meaning the most beneficent, and that's what we know when we talk about the translation. But then she's just explained what beneficent means. It means He is kind, He is loving, He is very generous, He forgives, and He shows mercy. So she's just used that in a form of poem, and it's quite easily done, but it's very creative. You do have to think about these things as well. So mashallah, that's a beautiful way of writing. And to be honest, this is the first time I'm reading Sister Maya Zara's book, but I know she's a very, very good poet. So I love the way that she uses very simple and short couplets just to get the point across. So you don't need very long sentences or complicated words. It's very easy to understand. I think young children as well as someone like me would love reading that poetry as well. So if there's anything, her book is on Amazon that you can either buy or you can download on Kindle if you want to delve a little bit more. She's done all of the 99 names, so she's done them very beautifully. I'd recommend that you have a look at that.
I agree. I think I completely agree with everything Andalib has said there, and in terms of this poem, I love the simplicity of it, but I love the fact that even though it's so simple, it captures the essence of that beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it reminds us about the mercy and forgiveness and generosity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it reminds us how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to keep these these characteristics, this essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart, because often I think it's very easy to forget about the kindness and the mercy and the generosity, and you sometimes end up focusing on the punishment side of things. But this poem beautifully reminds us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is generous, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives, all of these beautiful characteristics. And go on, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, sorry, all the positive ones, like you mentioned.
Yeah, all the positive ones, and that we should keep those in our hearts. And I agree. I've looked at a couple of these poems now from Sister Maya Zara. I've purchased the book. You can get it from Amazon, as Sister Andalib mentioned, as a paperback copy, or you can download it onto Kindle. And I highly recommend you do purchase it and sort of help remind yourselves of the beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so we're gonna, and after that beautiful poem that Andalib read, just with the final slide, just to remind you all to provide us with some very valuable feedback. let me just go and find that particular slide. I'm going to post this link, and it's a linked to I think a Google form. And you can provide us with some very, very valuable feedback on the workshop. It's something that we really want you to, or encourage you all to, you know, I'm just sending it in the chat now so everybody can click on that and give us some feedback, because it's very, very beneficial for us as people that lead these sessions to know, you know, what was good about the sessions, what wasn't so good, some nice critical feedback so we can help to improve these sessions for the future for you all. And as I mentioned before, anybody who wants to who wants my slides, well, our slides, Sister Andalib and my slides, and this recording, then if you contact office at mujlis.org.uk to tell them what session and what slides you want, they can inshallah pass them all on to you. So you need to contact them at this email address, please, and that'll be very, very beneficial. Now I'm leaving it open for questions to you. There is one question. So Sister Nabia, this is from last week. So she said, please can you explain to me how to remove the background, because I couldn't do that. And you explained how to put a video on our PowerPoint presentations. You can email me or you can show me. So very, very quickly, if I have an image, if I'm just going to insert it, you can all see my slides, right? Yeah, so I'm just going to insert an image quickly. Let me see this image of the Quran. Okay, so can you see the image of the Quran has got a white background? So if I put it over this orange here, it's still got a white background. If I go up to format and right the way to the left of the top, it says remove background. Click on there, it'll turn all the background pink. And then if you click on the outside, it removes the background there. Okay, so you remove the background. So now if I put it over the orange, you can see the background's been removed. Okay. And in terms of how to put a video clip or how to insert a video clip, if you've got the latest Microsoft PowerPoint, it's very easy. You just go to insert, you go right to the end here where it says video, and click down here and you click on online video and you copy the link from YouTube or whatever into here, and then it allows you to insert, and then you insert and it just will bring the video straight into your PowerPoint slides. It's very easy. Is there any questions about today's workshop? No worries, Nabiha.
Thank you, I understood.
Okay, no worries.
I'd just like to thank Sister Nadia. Mashallah, she's compiled an excellent, and all the children have come. Sirat, mashallah.
Thank you.
And that's attended and participated, mashallah. Remember at the end, even if you don't have homework, just to reflect on what you've learnt and take it forward with you, inshallah.
Inshallah. And again, I want to reiterate that I want to thank all of the participants, especially for engaging with us, for joining in with all the activities and the discussions. It makes it much more interesting for us, and we learn a lot from you, you all. And I want to thank Andalib for, you know, for basically making a very, very beautiful workshop. She always, I love the way she helps link in things, especially bringing religious things into just things that we do in our daily lives, and she manages to link them in a beautiful way. And I learned a lot from Andalib as well, and it was really, really nice to be able to share this platform with Andalib to help pass on some knowledge to you, but also gain some knowledge from all of you.
Thank you. Sirat, do you have a question? No.
Miss, can you please send me the slides on my link, on my Gmail address? I'll send in the chat.
Yeah, I've seen that. Just to remind you, if you contact this link here, this email address here, office at mujlis.org.uk, if you contact them directly, I'm just going to put that into the chat for you. Please contact them directly. Tell them which slides you want and what the recordings are, and inshallah, they'll pass that on to you.
And just another thank you very much to your parents as well, because mashallah they've enrolled you onto this course, and they've they've obviously want you to learn as well, and they've assisted you. I'm sure there was one child whose mother was sat there reminding her of some answers. So Jazakallah for encouraging your children. Please carry on doing what you're doing, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always bless you and your children on the path of the Ahlul Bayt, inshallah.
Inshallah. Okay, so if you can see this slide here is just to outline what we covered in today's workshop, and we've done all of this now. I'm not going to go through them again, but the very last point we haven't done yet, even though there's a tick next to it, something that we should always do when we add something is to remember the Imam over times and always to end with a dua. Okay, so if you can all please unmute your mics and everybody join in together where we recite our dua faraj for Imam Isman, please. Okay, so everybody unmute your mics, please, and we can do this together, inshallah.
I can see people unmuting. Very good.
Okay, so let's start then. Okay, Bismillah.
الرحمن الرحيم كل صلواتك عليه في هذه الساعة كل ساعة
وإلى حتى
وتودعه فيها طويلة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين ماذا عليه محمد
وأجل فرجهم.
Your mic is muted.
Let me unmute myself. I just wanted to say that was a beautifully recited dua. Thank you everybody again who joined in, and thank you everybody for joining us for today's workshop. We both enjoyed it,
thank you so much. I like the class very much.
And I'll leave the final word to Sister Anjali.
The same, I reiterate Jazakallah to everyone. I know it's been a long session. We've been here for nearly 2.5 hours, but mashallah, we've enjoyed every second of it. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept this as ibadat for you and for us. And we'd like to say, enjoy the rest of your evening. Jazakallah.
Hafiz, everybody.
We will have a class next week with you.
No, I don't think it will be with us, but I think you are going to be having a Muharram class next week.
You'll get updates from the admins from Majlis Ulma about the next sessions, inshallah. Okay. Jazakallah.
Okay, thank you.
Jazakallah, everybody. Hafiz. I'm going to stop the recording now.